we're like coming into this weird like, in like the second stage of the internet game. I feel like we're out of the like internet boom stage.
Yeah.
And now we're kind of into like, now we're like older, but we still had Instagram and Snapchat from the beginning. So and you're older than me, so maybe it's a little different.
How old are you?
20.
Oh, shit.
Well, I'll be 21 in 2 days.
Gotcha.
2 days. Yeah.
Cool.
What is it, Friday? Yeah.
It is Friday.
Days. Yeah, Monday. But yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it's now like people are trying to like guess which app is gonna, is Instagram gonna like go down, or is it like?
I know people have been talking about that. Like, you just wait. Like in a few years, Instagram is gonna be nothing, and I'm like, honestly, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible. Like,
yeah.
People get so sick of things so easily, and something new is always taking its place. Like
Sears, nobody thought Sears was gonna go out.
Yeah.
Nobody would have predicted.
Didn't
then Walmart's at the top. Walmart's gonna go.
Walmart's
down
going.
One day.
One day.
I mean, it's the business cycle.
I like their candles.
Like it starts here. It's like a bell curve, you know, and then it like.
Yeah, no, because there's always something new.
Exactly.
Taking its place, you know, like everything starts as something and then builds. So, yeah, I'm curious to hopefully see what
TikTok
happens.
Is the new thing.
That's what I was gonna say. Because like TikTok blew up. That's like a huge thing.
It actually blew up 3 years ago too.
Yeah.
And then it came back now. So, but even like, you follow Gary Vee at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
a little
like,
bit.
Yeah, he was like, well, you know, Instagram could be the end of Instagram. TikTok could be coming. I was like, I don't know though. Like TikTok isn't. I have it. I don't know. I just don't think it's that. I don't think it's Instagram replacement. But
I don't have one. Like I've watched them before, but I definitely see like it's like a whole world.
Oh,
TikTok is like a little thing. So.
I mean, for artists, like if you're listening, artists, like get on there and do videos with your music, and even if you have to fucking pay people or something, have people do videos of your music somehow. Make a contest, like just like use it, you know, right?
That's
like,
smart.
Might as well
hey,
just use it.
You never know. I might use it.
Yeah, there you go. You got some.
Gotta take all your little avenues that you have.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
But so this is episode 15 of BOPCAST. Naomi, I really appreciate you coming on.
Yes, of course.
Here we are. So
you
are a singer.
I am a singer.
For a while. Found you on Instagram, and I was like, she got pipes.
Thank you.
I was like, this girl can sing. And just go watch like one video, and you'll be sold.
Thank you.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, she's on Instagram, Naomi Schulman, is how you pronounce it? Or?
It's Naomi Schulman.
Schulman, okay. At Naomi Schulman, I'll have it in the show notes too, for everybody who wants to go check her out. But so, what is your like? Where did you start singing? Like, where did this come from?
It's been a thing forever. Like, literally ever since I was in diapers, type of thing. Like, I've just always sang. I've just always had this somewhat natural, like, want and ability to just do it ever since I was a kid. Like, I remember being with my friend, being in like the pool and singing, and her mother being like, I heard a radio, like, that you're so loud. Like, I was just always did it, yeah. But then the first time I performed was actually in that YouTube video. I think we talked about that.
Yeah, that was like 12 years ago or something?
Yeah, when I was like 11, 12 years old at my cousin's bar mitzvah. That was like my first performance in public. But other than that, I was just like constantly singing. Like, still am, and just like, you know, people are just like, Naomi, stop. But always singing.
I hope they're not telling you stop now. I would just tell you keep going. But
yeah.
Yeah, but so did you like try to actively get better at it, or did you like take lessons or anything, or like how did you like keep doing it? Did you just keep doing it on your own in your room, or like what?
Yeah, I mean, I've always just kept doing it, but at one point I did. When I went to public school, and I switched to public school, because at first I was just in like private school, I was always in choir, so that always kind of did it. But then I took lessons very briefly. I can't remember how old I was, but it was maybe in like middle school. I don't know. I can't remember. I took lessons very briefly, but then I stopped, and then I went to college, and I did my degree, and I did like all classical training and opera and everything. So it's just been like I just have constantly been singing or doing something with it. So yeah.
So it was kind of
doing it.
So it was like a no-brainer for you, basically.
Yeah, I mean.
Like, there wasn't like, I'm not going to go to college. It's basically, I'm not going to go to college for anything else other than this. is.
Yeah, I didn't even want to go to college. Like, I'm not a school type of person. I was very unsure of what I was even going to do. I didn't know what to do. And then I just kind of, I guess I picked up pamphlets at a college fair one time, and I didn't even know, because whatever. My mom was like, oh, what about this one? And I was like, I don't care. Like, I just had no interest. But then I ended up, like, applying. It was Coastal in South Carolina. Yeah, and then I went to the auditions for the music program, and I got in. And then I actually got, like, a little scholarship, which kind of pushed me to go, because I was kind of like, I'm not going to do it because I can't pay for this. Got a little scholarship, and then I also just wanted to get out. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And then once I start something, I don't really, like, give up on it. So I was like, I have to finish it.
Yeah,
that's how I got to college. But other than that, sometimes I think about it and I'm like, I learned so much and I wouldn't take it back. But at the same time, the music industry is so, like, you could do it without it.
You're saying you can do music without the music industry? You're saying you can do it without school?
You could do it without school.
So, yeah, that was my next question is, like, should we advise people to go, like, would you advise people to go to school for music, or, like...
Yeah, no, because that's where it gets tricky, because I don't want it to sound like you shouldn't, because it was an amazing experience, and I learned a lot. There's so much Yeah, so I guess maybe...
So did you learn, like, the technical, like, the theory, or...
Yeah, like, all of it, so...
Because that's what I don't know. Like, I used to be able to read music, I can't at all anymore, and now I just all ear. So
but here's my thing, that it's like school is amazing for that, but at the same time, you don't need to go to college to learn that. Like, you can, in my opinion, you can take up lessons with someone.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you can take, if you're a singer, like, you could just take vocal lessons and, like, do theory training. You can buy books and you can get with someone who's really good at it, take lessons on it. I mean, college is a lot of money, so I'm not saying you shouldn't go, and it's an amazing experience, but I just think that there are ways to learn it.
I agree.
Have
you heard of CD Baby before?
Yes.
So the guy who founded CD Baby, he sold it, but his name's Derek Sivers. He founded CD Baby, and he always wanted to pursue music, and he always did. Like, his goal was just to get paid to do music and full time, and that's it. Like, that was his goal. Ended up creating CD Baby on the side, and then it blew up, which, like, the crazy story about how that blew up too. I just wanted to listen to a podcast about it, so it was, like, fresh in my mind. But he was going to Berklee College of Music, and he basically wanted to learn a little bit before he went. So there was, like, some kind of music, like, notation. Basically, you would get paid to, like, write down music notes that people would play. So he, like, called this guy, went to his house, and the guy trained him for, like, 6 weeks, and then he tested out of the first 2 years of music school.
That's what I'm saying.
So, from literally, like, 6 sessions. Yeah. So you're right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sound like, oh, don't go to school, people. Like, do what you want. Live your best life.
But it's possible.
It is possible, and there's just, sometimes I look at it, and I'm like, I think the same thing. I could be like, well, if I had known, but at the same time, maybe I wouldn't have been as pushed to do things, because being in that environment and that training was, like, it was very structured, and I just was very focused, like, okay, get it done.
Are you more like type A or like type B, I guess, is the other one, but what do you think you're more like?
What does each type mean?
Alright, so type A, I guess, would be like, I'm pretty type A. I'm just, like, really structured and organized, and, like, everything has to kind of be in its, like, place, and, like, for the most part, like, there's parts of my life where I'm not like that, but, like, my car is always very clean, like, it's just like, there's just certain standards that, like, I, like, subconsciously just have to do. Like, you ever see a picture of, like, a bathroom, of, like, a guy's bathroom that's, like, the stereotypical meme? Like, mine is the opposite of that all the time.
Yeah, you're just, like, super tidy.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it's just how I am, my personality.
Okay, I get what you're saying now. I think
everybody's different.
I think I'm kind of like a mix sometimes, because I feel like I need things to be, like, structured, because I tend to, like, overthink. So, like, if I don't have a boom, 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 like, do this, do that, I feel like my head gets messy. Same thing if, like, everything's a mess, my head gets messy. If my car's a mess, my head gets messy. So I like to keep things also pretty tidy, pretty clean. But, everyone has their moments where you kind of are just like,
Sometimes it gets out of hand. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's life, you know.
Yeah.
But I prefer to try and keep things like, you know, I don't like to come late to things, like early, like or on time, or just like gotta like do things the right way.
I used to be a lot more of like 5 minutes late guy, but now I'm like pretty much all the time I try to be early now.
Yeah, I always say if I'm late or I'm not there, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like something must be up. Cause
early,
I always
like it's
come.
like that, like what they say, what people say is like early is on time. Like I agree with that, but if you can, you know.
I agree with that too. Yeah, I mean, of course, life gets in the way. Sometimes there's reasons, but sometimes people are just late because.
Yeah, I mean, things happen. I mean, there's like I worked at a studio. Shout out to the Vault Studio. My boy Tyler, he's crazy, like grind. Like this dude, he has a kid and he's trying to run this music studio, like him and his wife, and like it's just like. You never know, like, you wouldn't know, like, you would go there for a session, right, and you would just think, oh, this is what this guy does, you know, like, you don't know that he was up till 4 in the morning with his kid, like, you know, and now he's doing sessions till midnight. It's like, wow. You never know,
it's a
right,
hustle,
like, somebody's
you know
5 minutes late, it's like, maybe their life is insanity, like, you know,
yeah.
Like, who knows, you know?
No, I mean, look, you know,
it's crazy.
Life is life, gets in the way, I guess, sometimes for people,
Gets
but.
in the way of itself.
Yeah.
So what's next for this music shit?
What's next?
Yeah, like what's next, and then we'll talk goals too.
Yeah, my main thing right now is I'm really just trying to get out my first single because I have so many originals. Because I'm a writer as well. I have a ton that I've written.
An undercover writer. I feel like people don't even know that. You really
yes, I would agree with that. Just because, you know, on my Instagram it's always like covers and whatnot, and people don't always hear my originals, but. Soon enough they will. So yeah, I don't think people really know how much I actually write. I have a lot done. The one that I'm gonna be putting out is pretty much finished. I just kind of have to wait for like the final version.
Nice.
And then I just need to let it go because I can't hold on to it anymore. How do you feel about that?
Like, how do you feel about?
I want it to go already. Like I feel like it's at this point just like it's like stuck on me like an annoying bug or something. I'm just like get away.
That's how I feel too.
Like go, like fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just like see what happens.
Exactly.
It, right?
I just want it to be gone.
I
want people to listen to it. That's it.
Good.
You know what I mean? And even if they don't, I don't even care. Well, I mean, please listen. I care. But
if you listen, we care. If you don't listen, that's fine. You got.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. No one has to do anything. But just from even myself, like just to have it out, that's a step for me. Like I want it to be there, because then once I do that, I just know that the other ones will start coming and we'll just kind of trickle.
So you're gonna make like an album or what?
Honestly, I already have enough material for an album. Probably even more than one. So, and of course you always have to sort through things. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of like taking it day by day, seeing where.
Like see how it feels, like yeah.
Well, just see how things go and.
Like the recording process and everything.
But just like maybe like when I put out the first one, see how it goes. Or I have like 2 that I want to put out first. This one and then a different one. So I wanted to maybe put them out together, but I'll probably do one and then the other, and then maybe like.
We were gonna do that with an artist that we market for, and she, you know, decided against it, and I was like, yeah, that's probably like we were gonna put out 2 singles at the same time, and I'm like, it just doesn't. I like once they're on your page, they're gonna listen to both, like most likely.
Yeah.
I just don't see it as like you can't leverage that second single as well as if you make people wait. If you make people wait for things, like you can do this, like you have a pretty good fan base, like you know, shout out to Kia who we're doing some marketing for. She has a pretty good fan base too, and like there's people that are waiting. So if there's people that are waiting, like it's always not like don't make them wait a year. Like if you tell them when it's gonna release, like release it then. But at the same time.
No, I agree. I would rather do it separate. I think that you kind of just have to like. I don't want to like overwhelm. I think sometimes just putting one out. Like I like when artists do that. They'll just like drop something randomly and then drop another one randomly. Yeah. I like that. Plus the 2 I have, the first one I want to put out to kind of like warm people up and be like, this is me.
Here it is. Yeah.
But then the other one I believe is like even 10 times better than the first, and it's just going to be like a whole different like sound that maybe they're not expecting.
So do you like play around? Like, do you try not to stick to like one? Do you like consciously do that, or does it just kind of happen where you just write in a different style than the one before? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I always say I like to kind of be a chameleon, just like depending what I'm doing. If I'm like doing vocals on someone else's work, I just go with their style. For me, when I write, I think, I don't know, I think, now that I think about it, I feel like maybe there is like a common sound, but at the same time I have songs that sound very different, but like a common thread, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. But that would make sense for you as an artist. Like, as an artist, kind of everybody has, like, people can, like, Tyler, the Creator, can make, you know, Flower Boy album, but then he can make, you know, what's that other album called? The one before it, two before it.
I don't know.
But
sorry, Tyler.
The one with Smuckers on it. That shit is dope. But he basically made just, like, gangster, like, I don't give a fuck, like, just the hardest beats, Earl Sweatshirt's on all the songs, like, just every beat's hard. Like, he literally had a quote, like, I'm never gonna sing, or anything like that, and then the next album he's singing, you know, so it's like...
Yeah, people are always changing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's probably the best way to do it. And then DJ Khaled was mad, because they basically, like, his record label guaranteed him, like, the #1 spot, and then Tyler had the spot. And so DJ Khaled was like... So he was just like so pissed, and I was so happy. Like, I was so happy.
Yeah, those things just happen naturally.
That's such like, you are banking on getting the #1 spot. Like, it shouldn't be about spots. Like, it should just be about the music.
About the music, yeah. And plus, you shouldn't be promised a #1 spot anyway. Like, what kind of crap is that?
Yeah. Well, it was a bundled deal. So it was like you buy a shirt, and that counts as like a record play or a record sale because you put the record in with it. It's like a bundle. So that's what they do to get the numbers up. It's fucking bullshit. It's all inflation. It's all not real.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, with DJ Khaled, because I respect him. Like, he's got a dope personality. I think he's very much in his own skin. Like, he's his own person. He loves himself, you know? And that's good. There's something to that, I think. But at the same time, it's like, you don't, like, rap or sing or, like, you just produce. Like, I get it, man, but, like, at the same time, and maybe, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that producers should be able to be at the top, you know, but if you make this album and it's all just rappers and the best rappers and singers in the world on it, like, how can you take all that credit? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but...
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of look at it both ways, because if he is, like, you know, producing those beats and coming up with... Producers do a lot.
No, they need more credit. Don't get me wrong.
They definitely...
I think DJ Khaled has had enough credit this whole time.
They definitely guide the artists in the right direction if they're good
so
at
underrated.
it.
It's insane. Nobody ever knows.
Yeah, so for him to be doing that and be where he is, that kind of is very impressive, because you're like,
he's extremely impressive.
Wow, like, like you said, you're not a singer, you're not a rapper.
I just think it's a bad example to complain.
No, but I agree with that, because at the end of the day, like, if you're...
But yeah, he put the work in.
You're in a very blessed position. Everyone is, you know, even to just be alive, but, like, especially when you're... You know,
I need a DJ Khaled
numbers and all that you shouldn't say that out loud.
Yeah,
I think, you know, it should just be about the music. That's why you do it.
That brings up artists that feel like they should be entitled to something. Like, as an artist, as anybody, first of all, you're not entitled to anything. Especially people on Instagram, they think that people should like their shit. I'm like, no, don't. If they don't like it, it means that's your fault. It's bad. It's not likable.
Or they just don't want to like it.
You have to change it and make it better.
Or they're just
if people don't like
my
stuff, it's my fault. It's not anybody. It's not their fault.
Yeah.
You know, like, how can I blame them for scrolling by? Like, you know, I can't.
No, you can't.
You know? And it's not like I don't get self-conscious about it. Like, I don't hold myself to a standard, really. Like I have to get a certain amount of likes or something like that. But it's like, if the more, like, fault you take on yourself, I feel like, then the better you are in the end.
Oh, yeah, I think, like, what can I change? What can I do better? But then it's... Yeah, I think people think too much about those things in general anyway. Like you said, Instagram will probably be like, poof, one day.
Yeah, one day. Yeah.
You know, it's just an app. I mean, it's amazing. Like, you can really connect with people. It's really cool. But, yeah, I think you're right. I think you just, like, learn to better yourself in a way, but you have to take it the right way. like you can't like get down on yourself for it or something.
And I know people that do, because they get a lot of their,
But then that's like putting too much focus on social media, not on the real world. You know what I mean? Like,
there's another problem then. Yeah. Like there's an external problem that needs to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what is like when you write, like when do you write at night, in the morning, or do you feel like 2:00 in the morning? Like what do you have a process, or is it kind of just like when it comes? Or
it's so different sometimes. I feel like I'm not okay. Sometimes I'll like sit down and be like, okay, I need to play, and sometimes things won't really like fall into place, or I'll start something and I'll leave. But then sometimes I just feel it. I'm like, all right, like I feel like inspired or something. Or I just like feel like I need to play. I'll just get on the piano and start like messing around, and something will just happen. Like I'll hear like a chord progression I'll play or something, and then I'll just like kind of hear the words in my head, and then I'll go off of that. Sometimes it's just based off like something I'm going through at the moment / observing other people going through things. And yeah, sometimes like I'll say one line and it's like everything just falls into place. That's also the thing about it. It's like sometimes you can't force it either. That's why sometimes I say like it might not work, and then I just like walk away for the night. But generally, yeah, it could be different, but usually at night, I would say. Sometimes at like 2 a.m. Never really in the morning.
I have not really met another artist. Like, I make my best stuff in the morning, but I really haven't met another artist that does that. But I
could try it out. I'm always down. It really depends. Like,
is brand new in the morning. I just feel like if I meditate and then I like eat a good breakfast and then I read a little bit or something, like I don't know. I just feel like my mind is now like it's just moving.
Mm-hmm.
For other people, it's like for like it's happened to me before, but there was like times when I would like go to bed, like I would lay down to come up with ideas, because every time I would lay down to go to bed, I would come up with ideas and have to get up and write all of them down and start making a song or something like. But,
yeah, it just like kind of comes and goes sometimes.
I try to separate it. Like, do you think it's like a different like, do you think it's not you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
sometimes, yeah. I always say I feel like I live 2 different lives, like my musical head and like just, I don't know, because if you know me, you see me one way, but then like if you're like in the room with me and I'm like writing something, or just, I don't know, I just feel like it's like a different person.
Yeah.
It's just like a different...
Well, your thoughts aren't you, so whatever, like they're your thoughts. They're not, like whatever a thought that you come up with consciously, like what I'm saying right now, versus a thought that just popped, like there's 2 different things.
It's interesting.
Like 2 different people, basically.
Yeah.
And I could go on a whole tangent about believing your own thoughts and stuff, but like, yeah, that's how I look. So I'm always curious to see like how artists think about it, or maybe I think the people that think about it the least probably make the best art, though,
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, it goes both ways, because, like, a lot of my music, like you said, your thoughts are your thoughts and not, or I kind of got confused there for a second for what I just said, but my point was that, yeah, I make no sense sometimes. My music, I feel like a lot of it, actually all of it, like I said, some is from observation, but definitely very like personal, like my thoughts, but like based on like, of course, like experience and all that. So yeah, it is me, but it's just like a different part.
Like another part.
Yeah, it's like just like a different part of me. Like I'm not very like outspoken like that. I could sing in front of anyone. I don't really like talking in front of people. Like even this, I'm like, I have to get better at that. We're working on it, but. So that's why even like putting out my own music has taken so long. It's been hard because it's just like a very vulnerable thing. It's like, you're very like nervous, or, is it good enough yet? Or isn't blah, blah, blah. But now I'm at that point where like, I don't care. I care.
Nobody knows but you.
I care what I make. I take pride in what I do, but like, I don't care anymore about like, what if it's mine? It's what I think. If people don't like it, they don't like it. If this is how I feel. So now it's just like show this side of me.
What's the difference between now and a year ago? Like, why wouldn't you, like, did you have songs recorded a year ago? Like, what is,
oh,
was
yeah.
that different?
Yeah.
So what, did it just take you some time to kind of, like, come into it and just, like, be comfortable with the fact of releasing it, or?
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just, like, a process, you know, understanding more about, like, what you have to do and what you should do. You know, honestly, I always used to think it was even, like, hard to put things out, you know, really. But then I learned about CD Baby and all these things. I'm like, oh, wow, that's so simple. Just got to do that. You know, then there's also just, like, I just wasn't convinced that things were, like, finally finished yet. You know?
That's hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's probably the hardest thing I think of, like, being like, this is done. Nah.
Because I even have, like, songs that I recorded, like, years ago that honestly, like, I could have probably just, like, put them out. But I still have them just, like, sitting there that I, you know, want to go back and finish them. But once, you know, as time went on and, like, got more comfortable in writing and all that and in myself and just, you know, went through life. And now I'm, like, at that point, I think it's just I think it's, like, a confidence thing. Like, once you gain more confidence in who you are as an artist and just, like, what you want to say, then it kind of just becomes more like, I want to put this out because I want to just, like, let it out. Not because I'm like, I need to put this out
because you have to, really.
Because I have to, or because I'm trying to, like, be famous or like, it's really not even about that. It's just like, I want to put out my music so I can finally, like, let go of that part of me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then work on something else and just.
Did that answer the question? I honestly forgot the question.
No, you're good.
I talk so much.
So what makes you want to go out in public and do, like, I think that's so.
Oh my God.
If you haven't seen, whoever, you know, for who, you know, for those listening, or watching, go watch. You know, like I said, I have it in the show notes. Just go click on our Instagram. But yeah, what makes you want to go out in public and sing? Like.
So.
You got balls. Like, that's hard.
Thank you. Like I said, I've been performing for a long time, like weddings, parties, events, whatever. But I've always been, like, also, like I said, just a little more introverted in a sense. Like, don't always, like, usually put myself out there like that as much. But, you know, again, getting older and just getting more confident in myself. And I kind of, like, I was in North Carolina for a year and, like, I wasn't really performing and I was, like, writing a lot and doing music, but I wasn't putting myself out there. And then one day I was like, all right, Naomi, like, you want this, you want that, and, like, you'll get it, but, like, you got to put yourself out there. You know, you can't just hide behind, you're only ever so much, you just hide behind your computer, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to, like, if that's what you want, if you want to hide behind your computer, go ahead. But
it's not going to help you do
exactly. Like, there's a real world out there. Even, like, with Instagram, it's, like, cool. But at the end of the day, it's an app. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a real world, people that you should connect with.
It's really a tool, and you can only do so many things with a hammer.
Exactly.
A hammer is great if you have things that can be done with a hammer. Like,
exactly. But then there's, like, you know, just so much out there that, like I said, I wasn't really performing as much, yada, yada. And then I moved back home, or I moved back here to Jersey, and one of my main things was that, because I was, like, itching. I'm like, I gotta, like, get this done, this. Like, just turned 25. I'm like, I gotta go. So I came back, and then I met this girl, Sam, at an American Idol audition. Shout out to Sam. And I went to this open mic with her, and I asked her, like, oh, what do you do, you know? And she's like, oh, I've been, like, singing in the subway since I was in, like, I don't know what she said, 7th grade or something. A long time. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, I want to come out with you one time. Like, I want to try it out. Because a little over a year ago, I sang in a park with this guy I play with. His name's Lucas. Shout out to Lucas. Saxophone player in Morristown. And, like, it was crazy. We had so many people, and, like, we actually made, like, bank, and I was like, whoa, I didn't realize, like, singing in a park could, like, do this. So fast forward to now, I was like, I want to sing in the subway. I want to try that out. New York City. Let's go. So I went out with her, like, 2 times or so, and we, just went from cart to cart inside the cart, just singing, collecting. Both made 100 each time, but for like singing on a subway cart, that's pretty crazy. It's a subway cart.
If it was 30, I would have said that's wild. Like,
do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, for not even like 4 hours. So
you make
I was
your
like,
own hours.
yeah, so I was like, whoa, this is cool. And then, yeah, I hit up my friend Lucas. I was like, yo, we should busk one day. We went to Jersey City and we started playing. And not even 30 minutes in, some guy came up to us and was like, proposing to my girlfriend in an hour. Like, can you sing for it? And we were like, yeah. So then we like drove to the city, did that, busked for the rest of the day. And I was like, this is like really cool. Like, it just, you notice like I said, you're in like the real world. The vibe's different. You're in the city. Like, that's just what it's what you expect there. And then I just went out a few more times with him. Then I got my own speaker and I was like, I'm going to start going out by myself. Cause again, it's like a confidence thing. It's get out of your comfort zone. Like doing that, like you said, it's not necessarily easy. Like you got to really
it's not at all easy.
People are looking at you are like, oh, am I annoying them or whoa? But then at the same time, you have the reason I love it so much is because you genuinely make connections with people. Like, I don't know if you saw the video of the dancer, like something like that. That is so genuine.
She
just appeared like watching and then like petting my dog, chilling. And then she came up to me after and she's like, I was just so inspired by you doing this that I went and started dancing. And she was dancing for had to have been 40 minutes, just like to every song. And I have other people come up to me and say the same thing. Like a lot of people actually. I had such a bad day. I was having a bad day. I sat down and you made my day better. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, I made someone's day better, but it's just genuine human connection. And that's why I've been doing it. And that's why I love doing it. And yeah, it's cool to make money, to know oh, I could sing and people that's cool. But it's even cooler to just connect with people through music and really see how you can make someone happier just by someone's walking through the park and is like, oh, music or something to distract people from their everyday life. People sometimes life could be so monotonous. It's just
going through the motions,
going through it, same thing.
9 to 5, you're slaving on it, you're just sitting at a desk going, fuck.
Yeah, you're having a day, whatever. So when people come up to me and say things like that, or oh, it's so inspiring, I'm just like, oh, thank you. I don't really think of myself as like that, but that's really cool that me just doing what I love and I don't know.
It's inspiring.
Yeah,
really
it's
inspiring, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Not everybody, that's what also, it wasn't like you were just sitting in your room, and I obviously, I've recorded so many videos of me doing that,
No,
and
that's what my whole Instagram was, you know what I'm saying? Me literally in my room.
Yeah, so I was like, no, not a lot of people are recording themselves. Going out in public and then recording yourself in public. So do you watch those videos? Or do you watch, do you make it a thing to watch them? Or do you just watch them to post them? Or?
Yeah, no, so that's the thing. I don't even record them. Those are all from people who send it to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
I've never actually been able to record it myself because I use my phone as the instrumentals, through the Bluetooth, and then I put my phone on airplane mode so you can't get any calls. All the videos I've put up are, all just people on the street who have seen me, who would just they follow me and then they'll send it to me, they'll message me, they'll get my email, they'll send me it. And it's awesome actually because I'm like, oh, cool, that's a dope video. Thanks for capturing that. It's really awesome. And yeah, again, it's a really good strategic thing for me as well. That's also why I'm doing it, kind of just to get my face out there. I've already had, opportunities come up from it that, fingers crossed, will be cool. But you never know, right? You never know who
out there is you don't know what you're gonna get.
No, I've met some really cool people. One in specific, he's a really awesome dude, and just I don't know, really loved my voice, and we'll see where it goes. But in terms of sometimes I get gigs through it and just different things. So some things hopefully in the works, staying positive. But yeah, it's just cool. You get to just get your face out there in a different way, not just be in my room. playing piano and videoing myself. I hate that. I hate like videoing myself.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't love it.
I'm way better live. Like,
yeah, I feel you. Yep.
Anyone, like, people even tell me that too. Like, friends, they'll be like, the first time, like, if they ever hear me sing, like, they'll be like, oh my God, like, that's so different than your Instagram video. And I'm like, yeah, I think too much if I'm recording myself, because I can pause it.
That's the problem.
You know what I'm saying? I can pause and control the situation. If I can control the situation, I'll take too much.
Just let the
I can't let it
decide.
go.
Yeah.
That's why singing in public, singing in the street, like, I have to just go with it. Like, it's, it's kind of like it's refreshing.
Well, if you're an artist, go for it, right?
No, literally, people have said to me.
If you're a painter, go out in the street and paint.
Yes.
Then we're gonna see how far
yes.
you go to paint. Like, I'm playing devil's advocate.
And you won't get kicked off as easily as I would.
Yeah.
Because you're just painting.
I don't want to be like. I don't want to say, because, like, I've performed in public before, but, like, not as much, like, I don't have as much experience as you, but I feel like it's just even, and the only thing I can really relate it to is DJing, but, I did my first wedding the other day, and I just, like, by myself, and I didn't do an amazing job, like, because it was my first one, but, like, shit, you don't get better at weddings until you fucking, like, you don't get better at singing live unless you go and sing live and put the pressure on, like, or unless
that's
I go
another
and
thing
do the
too,
wedding and
yeah.
put the pressure on. Like, I'm the man. Like, there's nobody else that I can blame anything on that happens here. Like, that's how it is. Like, you're out there, you're singing, like, you're just in that zone. Like, it's me. Like, it's me and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm just singing to sing. Like, literally just doing what I would do in my room. Do you know?
Yeah.
So,
at the end of the day, it really is. I mean, it's, like, basically the same thing. Just the environment's different. That's it.
No, so exactly.
I talked to this girl. Her name's Tiffany Parker. She's an Olympic bobsledder, and, like, she's a, like, crazy athlete. Cool. And I was talking to her about mindset, and she was just like, yeah, you have to be, like, this is kind of, like, off topic a little bit, but she was just talking about her mindset, and because I was like, how do you do it? Like, how do you function? Like, her whole life is training to do, like, a few things, like, her whole life is like constant training. So I'm like, how can you be in one country on one side of the world and then be in another country on another side and do the same thing with the same time, with the same, formation? It's like being in the same mindset in a different location. Yeah. It's like like, just to get into, like, good.
No, it's true.
A little bit of, like, that's it. There's, like, something to that, that only some people, I think everybody could do it, but it's just, like, you gotta exercise it.
No, yeah, it's like, that whole, like, muscle memory, all that kind of thing, do it over and over again. It just kind of becomes, like, second nature, I guess, you just, it's almost like a meditation. I guess in a weird way. Just close your eyes and go. I don't know, I feel like, yeah, I hear that. I think, but also, every situation is different. Like, I remember one time in choir, I don't even know if this has anything to do with anything, but I'm just going. One time in like choir in college, we were, like, going over this song again for, like, the millionth time. Yep. But a girl I was in choir with, she said, guys, I know we've done this so many times, but everywhere we go, the people have never heard it before. You're doing it for the first time for someone wherever you go. So you have to do it, like, to your best every time for all those people who haven't heard it the time before. So I feel like that kind of plays into it, because it's like, you may think, oh my God, I've done this so many times. But, like, do you know how many people are in the world? Exactly, right? Because, like, you just got to keep...
Whether you don't feel that way or not, you got to convince yourself.
Maybe add something each time, something to you that's like, okay, that's unique, that's different. If I do the same song every time, maybe I'll, like, switch around the way I do the bridge, or I'll, like, add, like, I don't know, it's just make it fun for yourself. But anytime you do anything, like, I do see the same people in the city sometimes, honestly. It's a small world.
I've gone there 4 or 5 times this summer and seen the same people.
Yeah.
Like, it's very weird. Did not expect it.
And it's cool, too, because, you're like, oh, hey. But at the same time, like, I see different people all the time, and they've never heard this or that. So
95% of the people are probably different.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's not about me in a way, you know. It's just like about giving.
Yeah, and just letting your gift, like,
yeah,
just getting your gift out there so other people, because I just got a message yesterday, which, like, this is on, like, a micro level, like, this is just, like, really small, but it was just a message, you know, from this guy, and he was like, hey, I'm from Argentina, like, I just listened to your music, like, I really like it, like, I just want to let you know, and, like, that, like, shit, like, that's why I do it, like,
yeah,
really, like, I don't, obviously, like, if you know, if you know me at all, like, like, I don't make music for money, but, I've made money off of it, but that's not the goal, but, like, that's the same thing as, like, or a similar thing as somebody coming up to you and just, like, you made their day better. It's like,
oh my god, it makes my day. I'm like, no,
yeah,
it makes me want to cry.
Then I realized,
like,
if I'm DJing and I put a song on for, like, an 11-year-old kid that just wants that Post Malone song on, and then I put it on and they're, like, so happy, like, that's why, like, the paycheck doesn't matter at the end, like, in that moment, you know?
Yeah, I was in Tribeca one day, and, like, I had already been singing for a while, and, like, I just, like, pretty much packed everything up because I was like, I'm done, been singing, I'm good. I was talking to this woman, and then I, like, noticed there was, like, a mom and a grandma and, like, two little girls standing behind me, and turned around, they're like, oh, are you the singer? And I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, she really wants to hear something, and I saw they had, like, $2 or something, not that whatever, $2, I don't, I don't need your $2, but
it's free for you to sing.
And I was
song,
like,
right?
I just started packing up, but I was like, yeah, I got you. Like, took everything back out, and I was like, what do you want to hear? You like Ariana Grande, you like this, and so I sang one, and she was just like singing along and like kind of moving around, and they gave me like whatever $2, but like I said, it wasn't like I was like, oh, they're gonna give me tips, I'm gonna do it. It was genuinely like, here's this little girl that just like loves music, and she just wants to hear a song.
The money. She doesn't care about
I want it, if I can.
She's looking girl that can
like
sing.
what kind of person would I be if I was like, sorry, I just packed it up?
Yeah.
She'd like break her heart.
Yeah.
Like like it's all about being able. If you can give, you give.
That's customer service right there. I'm in a business mindset 95% of the time.
Absolutely.
I'll be talking to people. It's not good. I'll be talking to people. I'm like, well, just the ROI on that is just not. And they're like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm just thinking like in my fucking mindset. But yeah, that's at the end of the day, like it really is about like the people that you inspire and the like the connections.
It's about human connection, connection,
yeah. Because we get so lost in the fucking sauce on this thing, like. It's just bullshit, like, like it's really, you can and like that guy from Argentina, like that's the good shit about this, that like people.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. That's awesome.
My SoundCloud is like, I think there's like 16 countries on there that have listened to my stuff, like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like even if it's one guy in Africa or whatever country in Africa, like.
No, it's super cool. You're just like, oh wow.
Cool. Like I just still like thinking.
Someone knows me in another country.
Yeah, like I wake up in the morning and I'm like, that guy might want to listen to my stuff, so now I have to make some stuff. Like, yeah, it's about
exactly.
It's about the real connection.
And that goes back to the whole DJ Khaled thing. That's why.
Mhm. Like, bro.
Number one spot. It doesn't matter. It's about human connection.
It's about like, you're not happy that.
I think you've already made enough money.
Million people, like billions of people have listened to your. Like, is that not good enough? Like
yeah,
where does it end? Like. There's a.
It doesn't.
You have to be self-sufficient enough to like make sure you can keep going. Like whether it's to take it to a financial level, but like you have to be good and like financially good enough to be able to go out and do that. But like if you're good and then and you like you're at that spot where like I can afford to go out and just sing and like you'll make, like you said, you make money doing it, like. Mm-hmm. Then that doesn't matter then, like once you're set, like if you're happy then and you're going out there, you're going to project that energy and then people are going to feel that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's the but yeah, I thought it was really inspiring, so I was like I had to
cool, thank you.
It,
yeah, I really love it. I actually need to go back out. I haven't been in like a few days. I've just been so like all over the place. We're going to
find a song with rap verses in it and I'll come and all the rap songs.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I'll do some G-Eazy verses or something.
Yeah, I think everyone should go out in public and do something.
I think his name's Ethan. I forget his last name. I'm sorry, Ethan. I'm trying to get him on this podcast. Really cool kid. And he just walks around the mall with a Bluetooth speaker and just raps to people. And like that's like. I don't care what comes out of your. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't care what comes out of your mouth. Like respect for just doing that.
Yeah.
And like even like. I haven't done that. I've just done that like parties and stuff. But like, even at a part, like, you're just like, people are just, they just feel it. It's just like some kind of energy or something, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's like, to me, that's my favorite part of the world, is like that genuine, like, natural energy, like, you know, walking around and you see people doing what they love, or people are like making music or creating, and you know, they could connect on that level. And like when you see the people who are like shaking their head at it or are like weird about it, you're just like, what's wrong with you? Like, who hurt you? Like, I mean, we're all hurt, but like, what's wrong with you? Like, how does that not make, you know, people are just bitter. It's surprising.
Yeah, unfortunately, it came from something that, like, isn't resolved yet, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it came from, like, maybe somebody did something to them, and then now they're projecting it on somebody else. It's like...
Yes, projecting, that's the word,
you
yes.
never know. Like, yeah, and you just don't... You don't know with people. Like, you might come across somebody that... Like, people who leave comments. Like, I don't...
Oh, my God,
I don't
yeah.
leave comments
what is...
anymore. I used to do that. Like, don't get me... Like, I used to be that person.
What, mean comments?
Not, yeah, I mean, I've left, like years ago. Like,
yeah.
when I wasn't, you know, like, as mature, you know, I, you know, hope I'm, like, a lot more mature now. I think I am. But I don't leave those comments anymore. But people who do, it's like, you're just mad that... You're, like, mad at yourself. Like,
mm-hmm.
you're not mad at the person.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Like, it comes back to, like, the blame
yeah,
thing.
like...
I feel like you're, like... You being angry is a reflection on you. It's not
mm-hmm.
a reflection on whatever this person did. Like, even if they're an evil person or they did something, like, that's not your job to fix them, right? So, especially on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, also, it's weird that people would, like, take the time out of their day to, like, actually, like, type something and then send it. Like, mm-hmm. you know, there's something called proofreading. And, like, I'm the type, I'm like, well, I don't type like mean things or anything, but I even like overthink everything just in general.
Like a text or something, even
yeah.
I'm like, oh man, probably should have reworded.
But like
that.
You see the things people say, you're like, oh my God, like I've had, you know, mean comments too. I remember on one of my videos, I don't even remember what the person said. I think I just like deleted it because I was like, F off. Yeah. But it was just that something so negative and just so weird and like just so stupid. Like just be like, I hated this. This just ruined everything. Like, it's ruined my life, or it was the worst cover. I don't know. Just something so stupid. It's just like, oh my God, like, you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Delete. Like, what is wrong with you?
I had a kid.
You cannot entertain that.
No, not
at all.
I actually swayed somebody. I had a kid who I promoted one of my posts, and it did well. Like, with my fans, it did great, you know? And this random kid comes and, like, posts. He's like, oh, this is trash, all this shit. I replied to him, and I'm like, I don't see any videos that you rap in. And he was like, bro, it doesn't matter. I'm like, record a video rapping, send it to me, and I'll post it. And then 2 days later, he replied, he was like, bro, I listened to your shit, fam. It's actually good. Like, yeah, like, what? Dude, like, why?
That's so
you're
funny.
mad that, like, what are you mad at? Like, you're not mad at me. Like, you're not mad at me.
No.
You know? Like,
it ain't
it's
about
coming
you.
From a bad, and he's not a bad person. Like,
yeah.
I don't think that most people that leave hate comments, I don't think they're bad people. I just think they're in the wrong
coming from the wrong place. Yeah.
Like, you gotta come, all right, let's step back a little bit. Like, close your eyes, like, turn the TV off,
mm-hmm.
turn the phone off, just listen to yourself in your head or something. I don't know, whatever you gotta do, pray, I don't know. But, you know?
Yeah, I guess it's just, like, easier for people to kind of, like, have those, like, negative thoughts about people to make themselves feel better.
There you go.
I don't know. I mean, you can only, you know, I think all we can do is, like, you know, put out our best energy, our best thoughts and all that. And
it's a very divisive
the world is always going to
be
like the world.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a mixture.
What you put out is what you get back.
Exactly. And I completely believe in that. I believe in energy. We all vibrate at different frequencies. And when, you know, you vibrate at a similar frequency, that's when it's, like, good. If you don't feel it, like, there's something called vibes and energy, you know? Like, if you don't feel someone's energy, it doesn't feel good, chances are it's not good for you. You know what I'm saying?
For
like,
me, it's like my gut. Like, that's
you got to trust your gut.
I
don't
know, like, I know people who are, like, extremely spiritual and, like, respect to them. I'm just not, you know? So I don't understand really what they're, like, I just don't know what they're seeing or feeling.
But you say you meditate and, like, you have your own way of, like, kind of.
Yeah, I have my own,
you know,
that I developed. And without that, I would be fucked. I would be so.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, everyone can find their own way to do that. It doesn't have to be religion. It doesn't have to be meditation. It could be like
surfing, like
reading. It could be
right?
throwing a tennis ball against the wall, like getting a dog. Like it could buying blankets. I don't know. Like it could be anything that can make someone. It's really just honing in on that like positive energy and like kind of taking it for a ride and not getting off.
It could be a chai latte if you want it to be.
Yeah, literally. It could be a chai latte every day. Yeah. It could be a new pair of shoes every day. Like whatever you want, whatever makes you happy.
Balance obviously, but like
exactly.
If that, people some people want to think that like material things are like, bad for you and they're just, bad for your ego and stuff. It's like, I mean, there's like really successful people that just wanted material things and then that's how they got successful because they wanted it so bad. So it's not like, it's whatever like keeps
it's whatever
you going.
You want. Just be a good person and be happy, Like as long as like certain things don't necessarily make you happy, if that makes sense. It's like you got to make yourself happy.
Like temporary happiness versus like
exactly like
happiness. And you're not going to be happy every day, but like
no, life is life, you got to
finding the things that you can I feel like
do to help put out like positive energy. That's what I'm saying, like whether it's like, singing or tennis or whatever, something that just makes you feel good and
do the thing that you want to do, I guess, do the thing that you would do if you never got paid and nobody watched you. Like that thing, that should be the thing that when you're at a bad spot that you go do. At least that is for me. Like I know when I'm angry, like I can write some really good lyrics. Like
just can't get in your head,
Got to externalize it. You got to like get it out.
Move, like keep moving. Yeah, there's like this song I wrote. Well, it's actually just kind of like a verse because it was with someone else, but it was okay, I keep moving if I'm breathing, never failing if I'm dreaming. So it's like as long as you're alive and just keep moving forward.
Keep the dreams going too. Like
exactly, like
even if
because then you can't fail if you're like you know what I'm saying.
Actively pursuing something.
Exactly, like and if you're still living. You're good. You're breathing. That's literally like you're already ahead of the game if you wake up.
Okay. Also, let's like take it back a step too. Like, okay, if you're in America, you can't really complain at this point. Like, just at the level that we're at, like the amount, spot in our world. Like, this is the best place to fucking be alive. Like, this is awesome. This is amazing. Compared to like 90% of the world. I mean, some parts are definitely a lot more scary. I mean, there's a lot of scary things happening in America as well, but you know what I mean. We have a lot more rights and stuff for sure compared to other perfect,
people.
But like, compared to like a lot
definitely
of
not perfect.
No, but compared to a lot of places, it's fucking amazing. Like you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Nobody can stop you.
Yeah.
Like I can go wherever I want right now, and nobody can.
Yeah. No. 100%. Like, you can move state to state. Like. Do your thing, you know what I mean?
And you did it, right? You moved and...
I was in North Carolina. I was here, like, who's gonna tell me not to go?
You're just doing what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and that's what you gotta do in life anyway. Like, you just gotta do what you want to do. And like you said, do it with, like, a positive energy forward. Because, like, if you put that out, like, that's what you get back.
I think,
I'm a big believer in that.
Like hippie, I am too. And it sounds like kind of like hippie dippy shit, but it's like knowing your why too. Like kind of like why are you doing what you wanted? Like if you have like a reason why, then like you don't ever have to question what you're doing. Like I do this podcast, like I know why I do it. And in the beginning I didn't, but now I do. So now I don't ever think of it as like I have to do it.
Yeah, because you know what you want from it. You know why.
Because
like...
I don't know. Because you'll like one day you're gonna be on some some like talk show, some radio or some TV show getting interviewed, right? And I'm gonna be like, well, I had her on my podcast back in 2019, so
hell yeah,
that's that's just
I believe it. Manifestation.
There you go.
Manifesting.
Visualization. There you go. I mean,
a
lot of successful people talk about that.
Oh, it's so
heavily underrated.
It is, and it's so true. And that's the thing. Like some people they're too serious. They take things too like A, B, and C, I guess. Like, no, you need to have this type of job, and you need to do that, and you need to get married, and you need to this, and this is how it needs to go. It's like as if like there's a rule or a plan. Like literally life is whatever you want
it's not playbook
to do. There's no
right
rule.
Yeah.
There's whatever feels good. Like
reinforced a certain way
because
the generations before us have done that. So we've also been lied to a lot. Like we've been lied to by people who really love us and want the best from us because they don't know what's best for us, and neither do we. So we're in this position of like, as like a lot of what is like so many kids are going to college, and for the wrong reasons probably. And
they just go and then I party too, like, but then I didn't as much. But like some people like they just like that's all they do, and like. Yeah, it's just kind of like, all right, well, and they're going because they're like forced to go in a way. But if someone would just be like, why don't you just like let it all out and figure out what you want?
I don't think either. And like,
who does?
Exactly.
I don't even know. Like,
neither do I.
I know that's what people always say. They're like, you're so lucky. You've always known what you want. And I'm like, yeah,
like you're lucky.
I know what I want, but
luck, I see that as like
pressure.
Yeah, well, 100%. The more responsibility you have, the more pressure you have.
It is like a responsibility. Yeah.
Like the most successful, highest level people, like the CEO, right? I interview CEOs all the time. They don't do a lot of work. They make a lot of decisions. So they are at the highest level of decision making. So people think of like the CEO as like doing the most, like he's just like doing he's here and there and that. Like no, like he has the largest decision. He has he or she has hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line of what they're gonna do next. Like it's crazy. So like the more that like you go through life, I feel like the more experience and the higher like level you get,
the more responsibility you take, for
and
sure.
The bigger decisions. So the people who get paid the most make the biggest decisions.
I agree.
It's not that they do the most work. So
no, I agree.
It's weird, which I didn't realize like until this summer, and to like kind of go back to like not to like the norm, like the average trajectory of like most people's lives, like. I turned wrenches for a long time. Like, I worked every manual labor job there is. Like, I did all that. And this summer, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. People have been told, and even, like, even my dad was like, how are you going to do that? He's like, well, you're just going to have to go back to the shop, And I'm like, I'm not going to. Like, I will go broke. I'll have $0 before I do that, because I'm just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done making somebody else $60 an hour when I get 15, Like, fuck all that shit. Like, so this summer was like a test for me. I was like, can I do it?
And you did
it's
it.
like, yeah, and I did it, and I am still able to pay for my, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not, I didn't get rich this summer, but I can still do what I want to do. It's a Friday morning, and I can do my own podcast. Like, if I worked for a 9 to 5, I wouldn't be able to sit here right now.
Exactly. So, you can make your own schedule.
Yeah, I can make my own schedule, and I just, like, basically just did it. So, like, people just don't ever try. Like, they just get themselves in. And don't get me wrong, like, there's people who will have $60,000 a year, wife, kids, 2 cars, two-car garage, single family house, split level, backyard, and that's it. That's all they want. That's all they want, and
to
they're
each his
so
own.
Happy. Yeah. And for me, like, it's not gonna be that. It could be in 20 years, but like, at least now, like, I don't want to live like normal.
Me either. No, I've never
wanted
to. I don't think I do.
To end a rant, that was my rant, but
yeah, no.
Sorry, I'm on a lot of coffee.
No, totally understood. Even I was kind of telling you that I was trying to do music full time, which.
It's a weird question though. It's not like what is full time.
Yeah, it's just where I am right now. Like I said, with my music, I'm trying to like invest more, so that's why I took back a serving job for right now.
And I still work for people, don't get me wrong, but
no, yeah, of course, but like it's just kind of discovering new avenues and opportunities that are out there. Like whether for me it's like I'm singing in the streets, I can make money doing that, or then from the streets I get a gig. Sooner or later things like pile up, in my opinion, especially like you said, with a positive attitude. There, right? Yeah, so that's all I'm, in my mind, I'm like putting it out there, and then you do what you got to do at the end of the day, but just gotta, yeah.
Because luck doesn't happen without opportunity and you doing the
Yeah,
right
some
things.
of the
Like,
most successful
luck
people.
is a fucking shit word. It's just such a bad word.
I know.
Because it's not. It doesn't take in consideration anything that happened before the luck happened.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta think of the culmination of all the experiences, and, well, it's easy for us to see, like, especially in this culture from the sidelines of, like, oh, they just did something amazing. They just did it. Like, now they, like, had their whole life up until that point to do it.
I think that, like, like, let's say Jonas Brothers, like, getting discovered in, like, a barber shop. Like, that's, like, wow. He was so, like, let's say Nick Jonas, what was he, like, a little kid? Like, he didn't really, I mean, he hasn't even been alive that long at that point. So, in a way, that's, like, wow, divine intervention. But then, what happens from then on, it's not like it's all luck. Like, they have to work hard. Like, people have to take their position and still work their butt off to do it. You can't, a lot of people like to say, like, oh, they don't do anything, or they don't this.
Or everybody else did it for them.
Yeah.
Or, even if you have, like, really rich, like, parents or something, or you come up, like, really wealthy, like, I almost, like, feel bad for those people because they're
not, like, learning.
Yeah, so, and if you do it, whether you start from the bottom and you make it, or you start from the top, from, its perception of the top is probably not the top. But no matter where you start, if you still make it, like, I feel like it's the same grind. Like, it's the same.
No, for sure.
My friend Anthony, I think his agent is the same agent as the Jonas Brothers. So, like, it's,
that's cool.
Yeah, so, like, got a little connection. He's actually, like, friends with like, the youngest one. He went to college with them and stuff. Anthony's amazing, too. He's, like, huge singer. He's got a ton of fans and stuff. Shout out to Anthony. We're making a song together. I'll put you on him. You'll probably like his stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, it's crazy, and it is a small world. Like, they're from Jersey, like.
Exactly.
I don't know if you saw the VMAs. I saw a little bit of it, but, like, there's so many people from Jersey that you don't even. It's like they're now.
SZA's from Jersey.
Yeah, SZA
I love
too.
SZA.
And if you can talk to anybody now. Like, you can get in contact with anybody. Like, just go on LinkedIn or, like, just email them. Like, they're. You might have to email them 47 times, but.
Oh yeah, like I tagged Scooter Braun and.
That. Like, yeah, that's good. We talked about that the other day.
No, I tagged Scooter Braun in every single one of my posts. Like, I've been doing it for, like, it's got to be, like, almost 2 years now. I don't even know. I've messaged him before. Like, I just know one day I'll see Scene. But yeah, I don't think anything's impossible.
Everybody's accessible now.
I don't think anything's impossible, and, like, he may not see it now, but one day when I'm sitting with him, I'll be like, yo, check my page.
Yeah.
See how many times I've tagged you. Like, you just never know. You never know.
Though, I think, like,
just not giving up. You know what I mean? Like, you just can't give up. Because for me,
just never give up.
Just do it. For me, it's like, okay, if I make a new post and I don't tag him, like, what if that was the post he would have seen? Exactly. I think like that, know? And it's become kind of like a thing at this point where I'm like, I can't go. I won't, like, tag him necessarily in, like, a picture of myself, but anytime it's, like, a singing thing, I always tag him. Like, always.
You just never know.
Yeah, there are some that I usually tag, but him I always tag because he's, like, my dream manager.
Followers, and they DM me back faster than my friends do,
Yeah,
you never know.
You really never know. That's why you just gotta kind of, it's all about, like, taking the chance. That's why, you can't give up, because that one day that you decide, oh, I'm not gonna do it, that could have been the day.
Could have been the day that
I don't want to.
It all.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to have to think that.
And then when something does happen, then you're like, good thing I did that today, Like,
no, literally, like.
I was like, good thing, like, I had this, like, opportunity, like, I interviewed to do this podcast, and the day of, I was like, do I really want to go all the way to the city?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's far. I have to, like, take a bus.
Yeah, you were far.
Yeah, how far I am out here. And it's
Dude
like,
lives in the middle of nowhere.
Facts. And, which, pros and cons. But so I'm like,
yeah,
I want to
exactly.
go to the city. Good thing I went. That didn't change my entire life. My life was changed.
Yeah, I mean.
One interview, honestly, and respect. Shout out to Chris for hiring me. He's a dope guy. He runs crazy successful business, and he's like one of the hardest working people I know. And it's just I've had the opportunity to interview people that I would have never
had the opportunity to before. Yeah.
Even talked to, so. Never know. Sometimes.
No, you really never know. Like.
To like, use it as a metaphor. Just sometimes you gotta do the city.
No, yeah, literally. Like I said, even singing in the streets, I've gotten gigs from the street. I've gotten connections with people now who are helping me like get connections with other people and kind of like giving me a little more opportunity that hopefully like maybe we'll see about soon. But yeah, and even just also just I got on a recent record. I'll shout them out real quick. Tribe Mafia and Mikey C, the new song Like Cola.
Good stuff.
Did vocals on that, and that was also kind of like almost like a divine intervention thing, because I had a studio session. Well, my friend Tyler had a studio session with his artist. I went there that night to kind of like do some stuff for his artist song, Jadon, and then the next day I had a session. The day before, I guess Tyler ran into Mikey and his dad and all of them. They were in the studio, and I think he like showed them my song, or just kind of was like, oh, here's this girl. And they're like, oh, she seems cool, yada yada. So came to the studio for my session the next day, and their session was after mine. So I was leaving, or I was done, and then they were coming in. But I kind of like hung around, was talking to them, and then I was like listening to what they were doing, and they're like, yo, you want to hop on? I was like, hell yeah, I do. So I'm like just super excited about it, because I've been on a lot of different songs, like doing backgrounds and like vocal work, but for me this is like the first one that's actually like, there was a music video for it, like I got to do that as well, and yeah, it's just super cool.
On the basketball court, or am I thinking?
Yes. That one.
Cool.
So it's just kind of like another step in what I'm doing, and just kind of, again, wouldn't have happened without, if I had taken that serving job first and wasn't going out into the city and doing all that, like maybe I wouldn't have been available that day or to get that ball rolling, so the universe has a funny way of just like putting things in front of you, you just gotta like watch and listen and take it. Gotta like grab the opportunity. Like when I was in the studio, I was like, of course, purposely like chilling around. I'm like, let's see what happens. You never know. And now it's like, God willingly, their song. I believe in this song. I think this song is super catchy. You should go listen to it. It's Like Cola. And
I'll link it below.
Yeah, I think it will be like, I think it will do really well. So it's just cool to kind of have that under my belt right now while I'm like trying to put out my stuff. So
awesome. I think, honestly, like, that's big inspiration there. I think people can take a lot from this podcast, honestly, and, like, I don't know. I don't want to say, like, I just know, because I'm not, like, a talent agent or anything, but I've been in the studio with a lot of people, and, like, even I've seen, if there's an artist in Jersey and I don't know them, I'll be surprised. Like, I have contacted everybody. And I came across your page, kind of wrap it up. And I came across your page to, and I was like, she's different, like and you were doing
Thank you.
in the city, and, I was like, you were getting yourself out there. And so I think if we take anything away, is like from this is like, just, put yourself out there.
Yeah, put yourself out there.
And like, you never know, right? You never know.
You never know,
and,
like, like I said, the universe has a weird way of just like putting things in front of you if you allow it to get there. You got to be open to it, and just like, go out with just put the good energy out there.
There you go, positivity.
It's not always easy, but breathe in, keep moving,
That's it.
So, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Cool, I appreciate you having me.
This is awesome. Do the handshake.
Yes.
Yep, that's mandatory.
Make sure to cut out anything like weird or
no, we leave all the weird
bad
shit
that I might have
podcast.
said. It's my first podcast. I talk a lot. I'm
great.
sorry.
No, perfect. That is so good. You've been a great guest. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And so they can find you at Naomi Schulman, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll put everything in the description, in the bio, as well as your videos and your recent song that you featured on. And so yeah, folks, go check her out if you haven't. And this has been episode 15. Thank you, Naomi.
Yes, thank you. Goodbye.
Anytime.